98.7 The Coast. 98.7 The Coast.
It is 98.7 The Coast, WCZT, the wake-up call. This is Mark. Oh, my goodness. A special morning that we've got going on here because we've got a couple of guests in the studio. We've got an absolute legend that is on the phone with us. And, well, you probably have been hearing the advertisements for a big show coming up, the Wildwoods 50s, 60s, and 70s weekend. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But also, we're going to introduce you to some music that I think is classic, and we're going to explain all this in just a moment. Joining me on the phone, we've got the legendary singer and so much more, Frankie Avalon, who is on the phone with us. Good morning.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning to you, and I'm happy to be on your show with my two friends, which I'm sure you're going to introduce.
Yes, absolutely. And it's amazing to talk to a legend like yourself, but also, this is what is amazing. Well, I got to tell you, big local celebrity Joey M is here joining us as well from La Piazza Cucina. We've heard you singing in the commercials, my friend.
For how many years?
How many years?
How many years?
And I mentioned this big concert because you probably heard this name, and hopefully you've gone and heard him at one of the many performances he's done in the area. The voice of tribute, Tommy Cono, is joining us this morning.
How you doing, Mark?
Thank you guys all for joining me here, and we want to talk. We want to talk about a lot of things. We'll get to the concert coming up in just a little bit, but we want to talk about the voice of tribute, Tommy Cono. You got some tunes out, and
that's true.
But it's in conjunction with the legend that we have here on the phone, and Frankie Avalon. And I want to know how you guys both can chime in. How did this all come about? How did we get to this point with the music that you were putting
Well,
out?
you can put it all on Joey M, who is a friend of mine for years. This is Frankie Avalon.
Yes.
And I just want to say Joey M was really responsible. He had called me on one occasion, and he talked about his find of Tommy C., and I got to listen to him, and I was just as excited to hear him and be a part of this new young guy. So we had some conversations, and finally we said, let's get in the recording studio, and let's do some things. And that's how it all started.
Wow. So, Tommy, how did this happen? Did you did you meet Joey at the restaurant? I mean, how did he find out that you were this phenomenal singer?
Well, it actually goes all the way back to when I was just 7 years old. I performed at Joey's restaurant. I did, I think, 2 songs. And I remember walking off the stage at 7 years old, and all he ever said to me was, "Stick with it, kid." I was a kid. I didn't know anything. I think it was one of the worst performances ever. But now, fast forward, I'm 18 years old, and I go back to the restaurant, and I sing again, and at that point, I think Joey locked the door, and I couldn't leave. It was I found a great friend, a great mentor, and a manager, agent, and that's kind of how all this started, really. I mean, it was, my grandparents would always take me to the restaurant, so we all knew who Joey was, and it just progressed into this wonderful career that he's been just promoting for me.
Joey, what was it? What was it about Tommy's voice? I mean, obviously, we're going to hear the skills here in just a couple moments, but I'm sure a lot of people come into the restaurant. Probably a lot of them say, "Hey, I can sing." And
I mean, I come across a lot of people, and you know what it was? Tommy, I was on this kick hiring younger people at the restaurant, and I have quite a few people come through the doors that we worked with, and Tommy was probably the most unpolished of all of them. But his vocals, when he could sing Elvis and then jump into Frankie Avalon and then jump into Frankie Valli, I mean, I'm hearing all these voices come out of him.
Yeah. And
I'm thinking, oh my God, the range. His vocal coach told me that only 5% of the world could sing like that.
Wow.
Because of his range. And that's what Frankie Avalon fell in love with. Frankie, when I presented this to Frankie, he just was in awe, and he just said, I can't believe it. He's so talented. And then Frankie took him under his wing, and that's where we're at now. I said, all right, Frankie, you handle it for a while. I mean, I'm still doing the promoting, but Frankie's got him under his wing, and he's got a lot of projects coming up, and he's mentoring Tommy now, for things that we're going to be doing in the future. So I mean, I saw the talent, and he kept on coming around and asking me questions and everything, and I thought, you know what, this is not my job. It's not my forte. I'm a singer myself, and I'm a cook. And you know what? I saw the talent, I saw the effort, and his ambition in doing this, and I took it on.
So Frankie, all right. So obviously you're a legend. You've had so many hits. I actually, Joey told me, he said that you had like 39 hits, and all kinds of things you do in show business. And here comes a young budding talent. Like, what do you just take like things that happen to you, your own experiences? Like, how do you mentor someone like this, who obviously is a talent, just needs a point in the right direction?
No, I have never. This is a first experience for me to mentor someone, because I thought so much about it, because when I was a new young boy like Tommy C, and I started to have some success, I had a mentor myself. I had two of them, as a matter of fact. One was Al Martino, who was a world-famous singer with his first big hit, Here in My Heart, and he was also a Philadelphian, and I auditioned for him, and he took me under his wing and brought me to New York City, and it was my first appearance to play my trumpet. I was a trumpet player at the time, a young boy, about 12, 13 years old, and he got me to audition for the famous great one, Jackie Gleason, and that was my first experience on national television on the Jackie Gleason show, and because of the success of that, I then did another appearance on the Honeymooners with the Jackie Gleason group there. So that was my first mentor. My second mentor, as I got probably more successful in the music business, I was seen and heard by a great artist, Nat King Cole, at the Latin Casino in New Jersey, and he said he liked what I did. I was on stage, and he was opening the next night, and he said to me, he came backstage, he said, I'm going to talk to Jack and Trotter at the Sands Hotel. He's the entertainment buyer at the Sands Hotel in Las Vegas. And he recommended me, and he was my mentor, and I got a 5-year contract at the Sands Hotel with the Rat Pack and all those guys when I was a young guy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love these stories. So do you find yourself, like, as Tommy's hitting things in his career, early in his career, you go, oh, yeah, I remember when this happened to me, and here's what I did. I mean, is it come that easy, or is it? Do you find yourself like reliving moments in your career, early in your career, because you went through it all?
Of course, I identify with all that stuff. Sure. You look, I think he's a wonderful, talented young man, and he's got morals, and he's got all the necessities that I think should be really looked at for a young guy in this wild country world today. So I think the combination of he and I together, I'm kind of the old school, he's the new school, and we picked a couple of songs there that I thought would be really acceptable to a lot of people, and we had some good entertainment people behind us, creative people, and we came up with two things that I think are really sensational. I'm so proud of them, and to be a part of Tommy's new career.
And I was going to say, yeah, well, I think you've opened up the door here for us to drop one of the songs in here. Which one did we going to go with? Because I love this. It's actually some songs that you're very familiar with, right, Frankie?
Well, let me ask you this, Mark. You make the choice. I mean, you're the record man, so you do what you want, and we'll follow through.
All right. You guys cool if we go with Beauty School? Want to go with that one?
Yeah, go.
All right. Let's go with Beauty School. We're going to play this right now on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the voice of tribute, Tommy Cono. Here we go.
98.7 The Coast.
98.7 The Coast, WCZT. Oh, my goodness. I'm having so much fun here this morning. It is Mark and the Wake Up Call. And if you're just joining us, we got 3 guests right now. We have a real legend on the phone here with Frankie Avalon. Of course, legend of music and acting and everything else. I'm amazed by those stories you were just telling us about the early start in your career, Frankie. And then, of course, joining us here, we have Joey M., who a lot of people know from La Piazza Cucina, but also been a part of our community for decades and decades. Grew up here at the shore. It's amazing, all the things that he has done in our community. And we are excited. I know some of you have caught him, but for those of you who have not, you got to get with the program. The voice of tribute, Tommy Cono, is here with us. And I wanted to ask you, as we were just listening to basically, the reimagined classics, What drew you into this style of music? Because you're a young guy. Like, how old are you? Pretty young.
27 years old.
27 years old.
27.
Okay, so a lot of the songs, and I don't mean this in any kind of bad way, a lot of the music that Frankie has done, the classics, you're younger than all of those songs.
They were released a couple years before I was
just
born.
a few years.
Yeah.
So how were you drawn into this style of music? Was it just going into the restaurant and hearing Joey sing songs?
It was really my grandparents on both my mother's side and my father's side. My father's side were 100% Italian. They all came from Brooklyn, you know, that wonderful island of little off Italy, you know, and it was all the standards. Sinatra, Dean Martin, Louis Prima, Bobby Darin, all that stuff. So I fell in love with that at a very young age. Then my mother's side of the family got me into the pop, rock and roll, and the doo-wop of the 60s.
Right.
And I just fell in love with that. And I honestly, up until recently, I refused to listen to anything past 1969.
That's great.
I mean, it was actually until I started working a lot with Joey that he just started getting me into the disco era, and I fell in love with that. It you know what it is? The music, while every generation has their own take on, the genres don't change.
Yeah.
But the sounds change. And the music today, you can't understand it. The vulgarity is horrible. Mm-hmm. I think somewhere along the lines, everybody lost, or many people lost sight of what music is and what it does, and the purpose of it. And all the music from the 50s, 60s, even the 70s, it's you could understand it, you could feel what the artists are trying to, the story that they're telling.
Yeah,
that doesn't exist anymore.
So you're bringing it back.
That's it. That's
Bringing
the
it
goal.
back.
That's the goal, to bring back feeling and that the wonderful storytelling.
Now the coolest thing with the two of them working
Right.
together, Frankie stays in his style,
But
with a whole new sound.
yeah,
And Tommy does the sound of the record.
Yeah,
You know,
so-
he's got all the high parts and everything, and Frankie just sings straight through the way he sang the original song, and it worked beautifully.
That's a cool
It was a beautiful, and Frankie's vocals are just right on target. You know, so it made the project very easy. You know, we did this over here on the East Coast, and we had to fly to the West Coast after the product was done.
Right.
You know, but getting Frankie, he wanted to change the whole song of Beauty School Dropout and Beach Blanket Bingo, which both songs you have right now, and we were able to accomplish it. And Frankie was able to sing the way he sang it back then. It's amazing. You'll hear it. We're going
to play the other track in just a moment.
But I got to hear the other song.
But here's the thing. That's kind of interesting because Frankie, as we're going through this process here, I mean, you're a legend. So people know what you deliver. They know. But like going through this process with a new artist, I would imagine it's probably there's probably been kind of interesting from your perspective as well, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what. And putting the project together, we said, well, what are we going to do? What kind of a format will we do with music now, with the new boy and, of course, my career? So I said, you know what, Joey, I think that there's two songs that have been international around the world. One from Greece, which is Beauty School Dropout.
Yeah.
I said, I think that would be a good combination of me doing the original way and introducing Tommy C with his new style. And it's very exciting, and it really did work. And, of course, with Beach Blanket Bingo, believe it or not, with all the beach party pictures with the Ned Funicello and great casts, and from Beach Party to Muscle Beach Party to whatever, Beach Blanket Bingo was the one that really is the classic cult of all the beach party films. I said, and when I'm on stage and I do Beach Blanket Bingo, it's never been recorded by me anyway, or a hit song, but I look out into the audience and they sing along with me. I said, we've got to do those two songs. So that's what we did, and they worked out. I'm thrilled with Beach Blanket Bingo, too. I think it's really a new style of it, and it's very exciting, and I hope the people, when they hear it, really, really do like it. I think they will.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to play it for everybody right now, and we are going to get something up, too, on our social media, so hit up our Facebook, 98.7 The Coast on Facebook. We want your opinions on the song. Let us know what you think of it, all right? And, of course, we do have the phone lines open here as well at 609-522-0987. But let's play this right now, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit, too, about how you can see both, well, we see all the gentlemen we're talking here today with. So we'll talk about that in just a couple minutes, and also want to make sure everybody knows about how they can get that music that we're listening to right now from Tommy Cono and Frankie Avalon. So let's play it. Here we go. It's Beach Blanket Bingo here on 98.7 The Coast.
98.7 The Coast.
98.7 The Coast, WCZT. Very special morning show. Having a lot of fun here. Wake up call as we were rolling along here. If you are tuning in, we've been having a great discussion. We got the legend, Frankie Avalon, on the phone. Now, you're actually, what, in LA, right now?
Yes, I am.
Out in Los Angeles. So, it's early out there. And then, of course, we have our local legend, as Frankie made clear to me, Joey M. right here. I'm going to be over at the restaurant, by the way. So I hope you know what? I joke around. Joey always treats everybody. That's one thing I do love. If you don't mind, I'm going to take this away from music for a minute and just talk about the amazing restaurant La Piazza Cucina. You really roll out the red carpet for everyone. You treat everybody like the Frankie Avalon. You really do.
Well, I mean, I believe that, the entertainers, especially the entertainers, and people and customers are the same. Everybody's a star when you walk into that place. Mm-hmm. But, when these guys walk in, I grew up listening to these guys, whether it be Frankie, Fabian, Bobby Rydell, or the Skyliners or whatever. When you work with the original artist and then they walk in your door and you feed them, it's like, it's an honor. I mean, my walls speak for itself.
Yep.
I mean, there's pictures of everybody on there.
If people haven't been there, they got to get on over to the restaurant.
Well, you know what? I've been lucky. I've won the best Italian restaurant in Cape May County 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. So that's the best of the shore.
Yep, people love it.
Yeah,
so.
And that's I'm honored by that. And there's a lot of hard work. I mean, next year I'll be celebrating 50 years in business.
Woo, congratulations.
25 years in Philadelphia, and then I moved down here and 25 years in Wildwood.
Well, we're definitely grateful for that. And, we also are talking to the voice of tribute, Tommy Cono. Now, you've been around, speaking of legends, you've performed on the stage with a bunch of, especially recently.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful couple of years for me. At 27 years old, I'm able to say that I've worked with, as Joey said, the Skyliners, Jay and the Americans, the Tokens, Vito Piccone from the Elegance.
Uh-huh.
I've recorded with Bobby Rydell, Frankie Avalon, Peggy Centilla, the lead singer of the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
I was.
We had you on a stage recently, at the same show at the Times, right?
Yeah, we were just at Fox Park with the Times. Yeah, I think one of the coolest highlights for me was actually last year. I was the youngest tribute artist ever on board the Malt Shop Memories cruise.
Wow.
And we got an invitation back for 2025.
Nice.
Yeah. So for me, that was probably one of the coolest highlights among everything else that's been going on.
So there are two big questions, and I'm going to get to the one that I know some people are probably wondering about. But I want to ask, how can people get these songs and other music you and Frankie have been working on? I mean, I know you guys have been collaborating. Where can people get it?
Well, right now you can honestly get all this music, everything that I've put out up to now, mm-hmm. on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. It's all out on YouTube. Anything that you stream music from, any platform, my music is on there. Well, it better be. We spend money to get it up there.
It better be.
It better be up there.
What is your handle? Tommy Cono, C-O-N-O?
If you just look up the Voice of Tribute, you'll find it. Absolutely, look up Tommy Cono, C-O-N-O, and you'll see everything. And then same thing with Frankie. I mean, Frankie's music. There's probably albums out online that Frankie doesn't even know that are out online. It's a different world that we're in right now with the music business versus what Frankie and Bobby and even Joey, what they're all used to.
Yep.
We were just talking about this actually before we started this whole interview.
Everything has changed.
The way you get music now is completely different, and it's the business. We're still learning it. Still learning it.
I was going to say, Frankie, what do you think about that? Because I mean, look, in our wildest dreams, we couldn't imagine just how accessible the music would be, in today's day and age. I would imagine that's probably a great thing. Probably have a lot of people that otherwise maybe wouldn't be familiar with the music discovering you.
Well, music, if it's good, people love it. I don't care what generation you are. If it makes sense to you from your heart to listen to it, to buy it, to whatever, good music stays around forever. It doesn't go away.
Now, with that in mind, we're going to talk some good music here, and I do want to mention this, and this is actually a pretty big deal, because it's the 20th anniversary of the Wildwood's 50s, 60s, and 70s weekend coming up. Greater Wildwood Chamber of Commerce is putting this on. This is going to be the opportunity to see, all of us, right? You're going to be a part of it, right? No, you're not? Okay.
You'll see
on the bill. We're getting you on the bill.
You'll see him.
We're getting you on the bill.
You'll see me.
Frankie Avalon's going to be there as the voice of tribute. Tommy Cono, which is it's going to be great. So we just want.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to be working together on stage, and of course, I've done it before in Wildwood there at the arena. It was just wonderful. So they invited me back again for the 20th anniversary. You know, when I started to reminisce about Wildwood, New Jersey, as a young boy from South Philadelphia, it was a place to go that was just you just couldn't wait to get to Wildwood, New Jersey. The beaches were so wonderful, and then as time went by, I joined a group called Rocco and the Saints, and I don't know if you guys will ever remember. I don't know if Joey will remember, but Rocco and the Saints, we played the whole summer there, probably 1956, 55, 56, at the Emerald Show Bar. Joe, does anybody remember that?
What was the name of the bar?
The Emerald Show Bar.
The Emerald, yeah. I mean, I was too young but it was still around.
That's right.
You were underage, you couldn't get in?
Well, when Frankie was blowing the trumpet on stage, I was running around still in my diaper.
Right. But that now as time went by, Joey,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you'll remember this, there were two places there that were, on summers, they would invite a lot of the new up-and-coming singers or even some of the established ones. The two places which I played, if you remember, one place called the Manor,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and the other place was called the Bolero.
And the Bolero still
The
stands
Bolero
today.
is still there.
Still there.
Is that right?
Yes, it's still there. Yes.
All right, so I've had my experiences there in Wild, and of course being back again in October to do the 20th anniversary with Tommy C, is going to be great.
Well, we're so looking forward to you coming to town, and of course, just so everybody knows, I mentioned this is going to be on Saturday, the 19th of October. So our friends over at the Greater Wildwood Chamber of Commerce have tickets for that. So you could always give them a call at 609-729-4000 or go to Ticketmaster.com, you know, the usual outlets. But that definitely, people will definitely want to get there and see that show. And we were just kind of talking about, and we miss him terribly, but I wanted to see, because I heard there might be a tribute, the Golden Boys with Tommy doing a tribute to Bobby Rydell. Did I hear that right? Is that something that's in the works?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we're going to probably premiere it in Jersey again, in Hamilton, New Jersey. We're going to be doing a Golden Boys with Fabian and the tribute from Tommy C. and, of course, Frankie Avalon.
Well, yeah, I know that really just a part of Wildwood. I mean, a huge part of Wildwood, as are you. And you know, we are looking forward to that. And, of course, please keep us updated on all of that, because we want everybody to be able to attend that and see that show and pay tribute.
Frankie, I have to intervene here for a second. When Tommy did a show in Hamilton last week, the powers to be, they were talking about you coming back to Hamilton. They were so excited because Frankie's, now correct me if I'm wrong, grandmother lived in Hamilton. Is that correct, Frank?
Well, and you know what? She was more of a celebrity than I'll ever be in Hamilton, New Jersey. I mean, they just loved her. Conchetta is my grandmother. She spoke no English at all, but she was a safety guard, you know, with the kids crossing streets, and she became very famous. And, you know, when people would come through the town, and she would have to stop the cars, and some people now and then would ask the guard, my grandmother, how do you get to route so-and-so and so? She said, straight. That's it.
Well, straightforward and direct with it. So there you go. Now, this has been, oh my goodness, we could talk all morning long, but this has been just such a thrill to get to chat with you, Frankie. And of course, always a pleasure to see you, Joey M. And I'm really excited to follow your career. Voice of Tribute, Tommy Cono. And we're looking forward to the music, and we're looking forward to the shows. Don't forget, we got on our Facebook page. People can chime in, and we want your opinions about the music. And here we go. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited. Thank you, Mark, so much for having all of us. It was great.
And thank you as well, Frankie, for being here with us.
Hey, Mark, thank you for inviting the three of us, and hopefully we'll get some response from people who are going to listen to these combination now of Avalon and Cono.
I love it. And it's like, like we said, real music with lyrics you can understand. And Joey, thank you so much. I know that you set up all this interview, and I certainly appreciate, everything that you do for our community as well. So thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much, Mark.
Well,
thanks so much. See you in Wildwood.
You got it. We'll be back with more of the Wake Up Call here on 98.7 The Coast in just a few minutes.